Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it had a great theatrical run, making north of $800 million. It's been out on Disney Plus streaming now for about a month. And one of the things that, we knew James Gunn told all of us long before the movie came out, this is the final chapter of this group of Guardians of the Galaxy, right? They made that public before the movie ever hit theaters, that this will be the final chapter of this collection of Guardians of the Galaxy moving forward. And of course, for those of us who saw the movie, that is indeed the case. So the question is, though, did Marvel make a mistake doing that? And that is the topic of today's Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. Listen, guys, if you've got a question for our show and you'd like to hear your voice on it, you can go ahead and call it in anytime 24/7 at our hotline, 951-268-4259. We'll pick one or two every day to get to. And indeed, the topic of today's is, did Marvel make a mistake breaking up the Guardians of the Galaxy? Check it out.
Hey, John and crew. It's Philip from Arkansas. I just got done watching Guardians 3, and it was great. But, spoiler alert, at the end, they break up. Do you think that was the wisest decision, considering there is, no unity in the MCU right now? No matter what they do, it feels like at this point they're just going to pull a reverse and say, yeah, there's no Avengers. Well, just kidding. Yeah, there actually are. And, no Guardians. Well, yeah, now there actually are. I don't know. It just feels weird to me. What did you think? Love to hear your thoughts. Bye.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling that in, Philip. And it's bittersweet. I mean, look, we got introduced to the Guardians. First of all, it's easy for a lot of us to take for granted today. But when they first announced that they were doing a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, everybody pulled a who? Nobody knew who they were talking about and why on earth. As a matter of fact, it was them announcing Guardians of the Galaxy that led me and the late, great John Schnepp to meeting. I was running AMC Movie News, and I thought, I knew a little bit about the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics, but I called a mutual friend and I said, hey, do we know anybody that really knows Guardians of the Galaxy? He's like, I got this friend of mine. His name's John Schnepp. He knows everything about Guardians of the Galaxy. So me and Schnepp got on the phone. I invited him in as a guest to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, and we just hit it off great, and we said we should do this more often, and then he kind of became a regular member. But that's kind of what led to that. And then we got Guardians 2 and then Guardians 3 recently in theaters, and Guardians 3 was fantastic. They did a great job with it, but it was going to be the end. James Gunn was leaving Marvel. He's going to be going over to take over DC. He had already started making some films for DC, and he said this is going to be it. This is going to be the conclusion of the story. So by the end of Guardians 3, and again, the movie's been available for free on streaming if you have Disney Plus for almost a month now. So if you're really excited about Guardians 3, you've already seen it. But true to James Gunn's word, by the end of the film, the Guardians have disbanded, right? And they kind of put together, true to James Gunn's word, a new collection of Guardians for the most part. But was that a mistake? Because as one of the things that Philip brought up, one of the big problems of the MCU right now is that it feels completely disjointed. It's not just the lack of a one main storyline, but it just feels, each film feels completely like they're in different universes from each other. You don't feel a lot of continuity. You don't feel a lot of unity. You don't feel a lot of, that cohesiveness that the MCU was known for having for the first number of phases. Was it a mistake to break them up? Well, the heart part of me wants to say yes, because I love this group of characters. I want to see them continue together and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we had 3 Guardians films. We had the Guardians and a couple of Avengers movies. And here's the biggest reality of it. Dave Bautista was not coming back to the MCU after this. I mean, Dave Bautista, right or wrong, burned a lot of bridges with Disney when they first fired James Gunn. I mean, Dave Bautista was very, very public. And he's even talked in recent years, too, about just the physical demands of trying to play Drax. I mean, he's the only guy in that cast who has to walk around without a shirt on. And I believe he's in his 50s now. If you can look that up for me, the age of Dave Bautista, Ray, but I believe Dave's in his 50s now. So that gets harder and harder. But it became clear he wasn't
54.
coming back. He's 54. So not that he can't look great for another 15 years if you want to, but it's getting more and more difficult for him. He said that a lot. It's getting harder and harder and harder for him to maintain that type of physique, not to mention all the personal issues he had with Disney, and that was coming to an end. Zoe Saldana recently kind of made it really clear that she had done her duty. She had brought this great Nebula character to the MCU, but she's kind of hinted many times that her road in this journey is now done.
You mean Gamora?
Yeah, Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The actress Zoe Saldana, who plays Gamora.
Yeah, because I thought you said Nebula.
No. Zoe Saldana. So, did I say Nebula? I don't think I said Nebula. Maybe I did. Anyway, she said she had finished her run with this. And James Gunn was clearly now departing, and James Gunn was the fatherhead of this family. And so even if they didn't want to bring the story of the Guardians to a conclusion, they weren't really going to be able to keep the band together anyway. So it's not really even so much of a question as did Marvel make a mistake? It's like, that's just the hand they got. They really weren't going to have them. Now, of course, they did end up still keeping a Guardians of the Galaxy team together with a couple of original members. And we may indeed see that Guardian. I doubt they're going to make their own movies, but I have a feeling we're going to see this iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy further down the line. We're obviously going to see more Star-Lord and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, listen, am I going to miss this iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy? Yes. Was it a mistake to break them up? First of all, they didn't really have a choice because a couple of the actors were done. But secondly, it's like, you know what? Sometimes good stories just need to come to an end and you need to move on to the next chapter. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. So I don't know, Chris, I know you love the Guardians of the Galaxy films. What do you think about the question that Philip's asking?
I completely understand where Philip's coming from because it is that spaghetti at the wall situation with Marvel right now of what's sticking, what's not, and are they going to scrap certain things? Are they moving forward in a way that makes sense? We keep hearing about how this is the cosmic phase of things, but is it? Is it? You know, we're not quite sure what's happening here. From a comic book standpoint, though, I'm really excited about them changing things up. To your point about the actors and everything, that totally makes sense. Everyone should move on with their journeys. And, you know, they've been playing these characters for a long time. But from a comic book standpoint, there's so much cool stuff here now to explore that I think could make things make sense for this cosmic chapter, right? We've got Phyla in the group now. Phyla Vell, who obviously they're going to be some reworkings of her origin, but now we can deal with the negabands or quantum bands that she wears, that Ms. Marvel wears, all that kind of stuff that Shang-Chi has. Maybe there is a connection like they've kind of hinted at and never dealt with really, aside from, oh, hey, that's a thing. Maybe we'll start talking about that. Or maybe it's just more red herrings everywhere. But that gets me excited, though. Maybe we'll explore that kind of thing about how all this works. And maybe then Ant-Man's presence in the quantum realm will make more sense and we have more reason to explore those things in a way that actually carries a big, epic storyline like we kind of came accustomed to with Marvel.
Right.
So I think this opens up a lot of opportunities for storytelling. At the end of the day, though, as long as I have Rocket and Groot, that's all I care about. But, I mean, this wasn't even the original lineup in the comics, you know? It was Yondu and Vance Astro. There's so many different Guardians. This team constantly changes. And while we all get attached to them as moviegoers, and that's what we've known, there are so many other really exciting folks who can join up the group that I think can still hold their own as well.
Wasn't Venom one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, too, for
I
a while?
believe at some point,
Yeah, I think at some point he was, too. Anyway, guys, Question is for you. What do you think? Do you think it was a mistake to break up the Guardians? Do you understand? Do you think, yeah, maybe just stories have to come to an end? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.